You guys, the iceberg effect is killing you, it is destroying you, and you probably have no clue what it is. Hi, I'm Erin Werley, and I channel God. The iceberg effect. It is the idea that when we see someone who is successful, who is living their life purpose, their soul mission, who is lit up from the inside out, it's the idea that we just see the tip of the iceberg, right? We see the fame, the money, the success, the fans, the followers, all of these things. But what we don't see is everything that's under the water. Everything that is the background, the past of this person to build that iceberg, that tip of the iceberg. You don't see the long hours, the doubts, the fears, all of the different things they tried, all of the spaghetti they threw at the wall, all of the wondering if this was ever going to work, all of the people who didn't believe in them. You don't see any of this. What's very, very interesting is I've had a few comments lately from people who seem to think that I spontaneously started to channel God out of nowhere. And I'm like, okay, all right, I understand. They're seeing the tip of the iceberg. They're seeing me right now as an incredibly confident channeler. And I am. But guys, that's not how the story started. Oh my goodness. That's who I am now. I've transformed myself. I have done that. I am my best manifestation. But where I started from 12 years ago, I did not spontaneously start channeling God. I started getting interested in spirituality, and my husband and I were about to be evicted from our apartment, and I was trying to figure out how to make the law of attraction work for me. And I read this book by a channeler, and she's like, well, I just practiced, trying to channel something for a few months, or she may have said a year, I'm not sure. And eventually I could channel it, and then I could get answers to my questions. And I was like, oh, brain explosion. Of course, that's exactly what I need. I need answers to my questions so I can ask, how can I get some money so that we're not evicted? Okay. So what I started doing was every single day for a half hour, 30 minutes, I would meditate and I would ask to receive guidance. And I was asking to connect in to the wisest being. Now, I didn't even know at this point that God was real or that channeling God was an option. Okay. I thought I was going to be like connected in with an alien if it actually worked. I wasn't even sure this would work. Right. So, but I wanted to try it. I was like, I feel like I'm being, led here. This is what I'm interested in right now. So I'm going to try it. And that is, what we're interested in is very much our inner guidance, even if we don't recognize that yet. So anyway, it took me about a month, and I started then hearing the voice of God, and it was telling me, my name is I am, but you probably would think of me as God. That's probably how you would recognize me. I am all that is. I am everything. And I am each of you, and you being humans. And I'm your inner voice, and you can talk to me and ask me questions. And, I am sees the entire perspective of the universe and can give us beautiful guidance that takes us exactly where we want to go. So the idea that I spontaneously started channeling God, I am, is hilarious to me, because that's not at all what happened. But I understand from the perspective of someone who's looking at me now, it might feel that way, especially if you are doing the work of trying to channel God or I am yourself. Now, first of all, just to clarify, I say I channel God because it clears up what I'm doing here and makes it less ambiguous. But the truth is that I actually am God, just like you actually are God. So it's not actually channeling something outside of you. It's having more awareness about what you've always been and about how you have built up these ideas within you that you're something else, that you're something separate. Okay. So essentially, that's the start of my under the water the part of the iceberg you don't see. You don't see how I was bullied my entire life, how I didn't have any self-esteem, how I dated man after man who didn't respect me because I didn't respect myself. You don't see the years that I was a waitress because I didn't think I was good enough to try to go to school for nursing. You don't see all of these things, but they're there. They're what built me into me. And the other thing you don't see is that I always wanted it to happen faster. I understand now that everything has unfolded divinely for me, but I wanted it to happen faster every step of the way. I was like, I want it now. It didn't happen now. And I had to just keep going and allow divine timing to take over. And that has been a beautiful journey, a journey of understanding that I am, that we all are part of the greater picture of the symphony of the universe, and everything's unfolding divinely for us. So you also don't see that after I first published my book, I followed my guidance. After 8 years of being afraid to do it, I finally did it. And nobody bought my book at first, even though God told me to publish it. I had to figure out then where I was being led. I was being led to learn energy work. And once I learned energy work, then my book started to sell. But everything I've done has been a series of learning steps about learning how to become the person that I was guided, that I came here to be. And there's been nothing spontaneous about it. And I'll be honest with you guys. Before I did this, before I manifested myself into this person who can sit here and talk to you and who can publish books, I have another book that's coming out in just a few weeks, which I'm so excited to share with you. It's called Lightworkers 101, and it teaches you how to do the energy work that I do. And it's oh so powerful. But I see now that everyone who is a success has this huge boulder under the water where they essentially weren't a success yet either and had to figure it out. And this is what's really interesting, is going to blow your mind. I am friends with a few other channelers who have channeled and been psychic since birth. Now, that wasn't me, right? I had 0 psychic gifts turned on until I was age 28. Okay, and I did it myself. I decided I was going to figure it out. And that's exactly why I'm so good at helping other people turn these things on, because I understand how it is to start from 0. But anyway, my other friends who have been doing this since birth, you would think that it was just spontaneous and easy for them. But in fact, they doubted those gifts. The gifts were there, but they doubted them. They didn't listen to them. They got mad at them until one day they were finally ready. One day in their 20s or 30s or 40s even, they were finally ready. But they spent almost their entire life pushing those gifts away. And that's what's under the water of their tip of success. So guys, let's all stop comparing ourselves to others. This is what is destroying you and making you think there's no point in you starting your own practice of whether it's channeling or anything else. Oh, because those other people that are already successful, they had it so easy. I don't have it easy, so what's the point? None of that's true. It's lies. Your persona, your ego is telling you to keep you small, which it thinks will keep you safe, but actually just keeps you miserable. So I hope that you learned something awesome in this video. I love you. And I make these videos every day because I know that you have such an important life purpose and soul mission. I know that this is true, and it is my deepest desire to assist you in turning on your own psychic abilities so that you can make your soul mission a reality. I love you. I love you. I love you. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please hit subscribe and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on my daily videos.